What's up, and welcome to episode of Gizmo Slip Tech. She wouldn't move, so I just had to get started.
No, you're not using that.
Today, Nvidia announced their new RTX 3000 series GPUs, including the 3070, 3080, and 3090. The 3060 was not announced. Also, the GTX 1660 Ti equivalent has not been announced either. Now, this is really huge news, and I'm gonna go through all of the main takeaways from the keynote very quickly, but I'm mainly gonna focus on what this announcement means for laptops. And there is gonna be a huge change coming for gaming laptops very soon. The first major change is that the new GPUs will be on an 8nm architecture. This is a huge improvement over the 12nm architecture from the 2000 series. This means these new GPUs will be more power efficient, which is going to allow more powerful GPUs to be put into smaller and thinner laptops, and most likely will allow for Max-Q variants to put out even better performance than before. And because these new GPUs will be more power efficient, we might see longer battery run times while gaming, though that's really hard to say. Most likely they'll just make them more powerful, and then they'll still take up the same total amount of power, but you get more GPU power in the same amount of wattage, but you're still gonna have the same total watts. It's really hard to say, but we might see that. Now, the next big thing you need to know is that the performance gap between the 2000 series and the 3000 series is gonna be fairly large, perhaps the biggest generational improvement in regular gaming performance that we've ever seen. In addition, the RTX capabilities is more than double of the previous generation, so games that would struggle to hit 60 FPS in RTX enabled mode should now be able to, in theory, maybe push 100 FPS, which becomes a lot more attractive to those of us that are used to gaming at 100 FPS now. Now, arguably the biggest takeaway from all of this is that the price has been reduced massively. The current RTX 2080 Ti costs $1,200. The new RTX 3070, which is priced at $500, is going to outperform the $1,200 chip that was still being currently sold as today for $1,200. So basically less than half price and outperforming it. Now, how is this going to affect laptops? It's really hard to say since laptops and desktops are separated a bit, but I would expect an overall price reduction across the board for the ultra high-end machines. And the number one reason that Nvidia is reducing the price here is because of the pressure that they feel from AMD. AMD's new Navi GPUs are likely to give Nvidia a run for the money, especially on the price to performance ratio, maybe even in terms of overall price. I mean, look at what AMD has done to Intel this year, absolutely crushing Intel with their new 7nm processors that are just more power efficient, more powerful, especially more powerful for the overall size of the machine, which is so important for laptops. If AMD can do the same thing to Nvidia that they did to Intel, we might see a real shakeup in the GPU market in the next 6 months. And on top of that, you have the new Xbox and PlayStation 5, which might draw gamers away, and Nvidia wants to get ahead of that, and by offering a lower priced high performance GPUs like the 3070 and 3080, they're going to be able to retain more gamers as PC gamers instead of losing them to consoles. Even though Nvidia's GPUs are looking so promising based on these new announcements, you gotta keep in mind, number one, these are just desktop GPUs. These are not officially laptop GPUs, though laptop GPUs, historically, the last couple generations have been very tightly tied to their desktop counterparts. So it's very likely the laptop counterparts are gonna have the same new technology and similar performance improvements across the board, and also very likely to see a significant price reduction compared to last generation, and that is going to be very interesting to see how that pans out. Now, my guess is that on the mid-tier and budget laptops, we're not going to see much of a shift in price, like from the $800 to $1,200 price range. That's probably not going to change much. And that's largely because those were budget GPUs already, and they were already priced to be competitive, versus the ultra high-end like RTX 2080 Max-Q pricing has been like an exorbitant price to get only like say 10 or 20% more performance than an RTX 2070 or even an RTX 2060 max performance. It's going to be very interesting to see if those new higher end laptops with the RTX 3070 and 3080 are going to be priced like $200 to $500 less depending on the model. Now, historically, Nvidia has done a staggered launch, meaning the RTX 2080 and 2070 were released shortly after the desktop CPUs. Think like 1 to 2 months after the desktop CPUs were fully released, and then several Several months after that, we got the GTX 1660 Ti and the RTX 2060, even a few months later. So just know that historically, Nvidia has released those premium priced GPUs first, and then you get the budget models later on. Now, all of this excitement over the new Nvidia cards is great. I think it's really cool that Nvidia is pricing these so competitively and that this is a big performance gap improvement. Now, the thing I really want to stress here is because the current generation hardware plays games so well, don't stress out thinking you have to get an RTX 3000 series card or you're just wasting your money, because that's just simply not true. You will probably almost absolutely be super happy with an RTX 2060, 2070, 2080. Even the GTX 1660 Ti is a fantastic GPU. So if you're gonna buy right now, that's totally fine, because you'll probably be very happy with the frame rate and performance of that laptop. But here's the thing, you're gonna want to make sure that you're getting a really good discount. Don't just take a little discount. In my mind, you really need like a 20 to 30% discount to make it worthwhile buying that current generation hardware instead of waiting to get the next gen hardware. So that's my take on how these new Nvidia announcements are gonna affect the laptop market. I hope you found it helpful. I really look forward to seeing how everything shakes down in the next 3 to 6 months. I think it's gonna be really interesting and I can't wait. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you wanna see more, and if you don't wanna miss out, make sure you also hit that bell and tap all. Otherwise, the YouTube algorithm has complete control over whether or not you even see that I released a video. I'll see you in the next one. Brandon out. Whatcha?